Friends, I am so happy to have you with me this week for a special conversation of a bit of a different flavor as I welcome Nathalie Ekobo. Her clients call her the psychic with an MBA. She became the coach that she was looking for herself as she was looking for solutions in her own business career. And since then, she's helped thousands of people clear blocks, be aligned with higher energy, and resolve archetypes and issues that were holding them back in their business. We have some fun in this conversation, and I think you're going to take away a lot of valuable insights and gems. Thanks for joining us. Hey there, friends. Are you looking for tools to resolve stress, reliable information to support your whole health, tips to help you motivate yourself, and identify when motivation is fading before it happens, implementation, accountability, and someone to remind you to celebrate even the small successes, where you could find tools you can use and accountability in a community that cheers you on, where information about health trends and lifestyle is reliable and straightforward. I know that you have what it takes to up-level your health habits and restore your resilience. You just might need a boost to start building momentum. I've designed a membership where you can choose the level of support you'd like to get every month, whether it's tuning in to connect with like-minded change makers or getting personalized support with one-on-one coaching to help you chart your path to success. Check out the link for the Velocity membership at happifiedlife.com. Special pre-launch pricing is now available for premium support, but you can jump in for free if you just want to test the waters. I look forward to seeing you inside. Living in a stressful world doesn't mean you have to give up on happiness. Instead, you can shift your perspective of stress and discover how to live your life in flow. Welcome to Happified. I'm your host, Susie Vine. Join me for inspiration and interviews with folks who are shining their light in the world in the areas of positive mindset, health, and wellness. I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome back, everyone. I'm so happy to have you join me for this terrific conversation that we are going to share today with Nathalie Ekobo. Nathalie is dedicated to helping highly sensitive entrepreneurs remove obstacles and activate more business blessings so they can fulfill their purpose with more ease and enjoy profitability, impact, and freedom. Her mission is to help clients live the life they truly desire, utilizing her unique system that combines deep coaching, business consulting, energy activation, removal of programs on the subconscious and soul levels, and intuitive guidance. So I'm so excited to explore this really robust and deep work, Nathalie. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thank you for inviting me, Susie. I'm thrilled. I'm excited.
I love how you bring your very diverse experience and all different facets of your story into the work you're doing right now. Can you tell us a little bit about how you came to this type of coaching?
Yes. Well, first I created the coach that I couldn't find out there. You either have business coaches and then they give you kind of cookie cutter formulas. And I have an MBA, so, I know this practical, you should do your business this way. Or you have people that do energy work and they are like little butterflies and floating around and not grounded into practicality of business necessarily. So I've been dubbed the psychic with an MBA. So I merge energy work, deep work, with coaching, of course, and with business consulting. And I created this because I wanted to help people grow in life and business from a place of alignment. Sometimes business coaches are going to tell you, well, you should have this business model, but it's not working for you. It may work for a lot of different people, but you're unique and you're different and your vibration's different. Your alignment to your source is different. So cookie cutter doesn't work. And that's why I created it. And also, I'm a serial entrepreneur. So in my growing different businesses, I started being very frustrated at the beginning. Well, I created a French restaurant and cafe and catering business coming from Paris to Phoenix, created it from scratch in a country that I barely knew. I mean, of course I knew English, but we don't think the same way. We don't process stuff the same way, et cetera, et cetera. So created all this in the process of doing that. I was frustrated and things were not moving along the way I wanted. So someone introduced me to a woman that was doing energy work and removing blocks at the subconscious level and at the soul level in a soul blueprint. And I said, well, I don't know. I mean, should I go? I mean, she was talking about past lives and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know if I have past lives. I'm French, I'm just like, and I've been raised Catholic. So, but I'm open-minded and I'm desperate. So I'll go. And what I found working with this woman was just that she would open doors for me and opportunities would start coming up and business was flowing and it was easier. And I started to expand and to grow. And before you know it, I said, well, can you teach me how to do that? And I was ongoing, in a mentorship and learning all this and opening doors to my right hemisphere and intuition and tapping into the energy when I was very left brain at the beginning. And I just, intuition is just like a muscle. You just need to exercise it and it works. So that's why, and that's how I came up to merging both sides together.
And I think that's so powerful because I agree. I think people tend to hear energy healing or, that concept and think, but how does this apply to my business? I don't really know how this can move me forward, right? So when it's got that comprehensive perspective of experience in business along with that clarity and insight that helps you really land on where the shift can make the most difference, I think that's deeply powerful.
Oh yeah, and I have clients. Some of my clients. I've been doing this for 20 years now. I've cleared over 11,000 people, and I have clients that stick with me. They've been on for 9 years, 12 years, 13 years, and I have some CEOs that call me when they need to make a new contract, sign up a new contract and stuff. And then we remove energies around that. I start telling them into guidance, in the board of directors, you should talk like this. And then this person is more interested into this outcome and this one into that. And they're like, wow. And they come back to me and they say, you were spot on. And I have no idea what I'm saying, right? I'm just tapping into the source, being very neutral. I don't work with guides or angels or anything. I just go directly to the source and then I get my information from there. And then they apply it, we remove blocks, and then it's working for them. And if it's not working, then it's meant to be, like it was supposed not to work, and there is a bigger gift into that.
Yeah, so true. That can be a hard line to walk sometimes, right? When we're frustrated and we think this is surely what is supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Why is this stuck? But sometimes when things are stuck, there's much better things right around the corner.
Yes. And I have an example, in my story of coming from Paris to Phoenix, Arizona, my visa was denied. And we were stuck in Paris. And some people may say, oh, it's glamorous to be stuck in Paris. Well, not when you have all your life in the US and you have many businesses and a 2-year-old that's an American citizen, and everything. Your life is there. And then you're stuck in Paris and someone said, no, you cannot go back. You're not allowed to work or live there. And it seemed to be that there was no solution. So we started to say, I told my husband, we need to say there is a bigger gift in all this. And I'm going to use my clearing system to remove the blockages, and we're going to activate another opportunity, another possibility. to make a long story short, before you know it, we found another visa, exceptional competency. We got it after 2 years, and that visa allowed us to have a green card, to be considered residents, and therefore to ask for US citizenship. So there is a greater gift in all this. And I got to see the power also of my tools, my clearing tools. And and we became citizen last December. So sometimes when it's not supposed to work one way, there is a big reason for that. And we need to go with the flow. Just let it go.
Which is easier said than done, but a
Absolutely.
powerful lesson.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think that mantra, that affirmation that you brought in, that there's a bigger gift in all of this, is so powerful too, because it's so easy to just see roadblocks and think that that's worth, that's bigger than you are, or,
Yeah.
a sign telling you this is the wrong place for you. You shouldn't keep going, right?
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of Abraham Hicks. I don't know if you know them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And and Abraham says that everything is always working out for me. And if you start repeating that softly, before you know it, you're going to accept it, and a little bit more and a little bit more. And the truth is, everything is always working out for you. You are a spiritual being having a physical experience, and you're eternal. So what the heck, that little tiny block that we have right now, that is so important in the scheme of things. If we just want to breathe a little bit and just relax and accept it, and just tell ourselves that it's going to be okay, we're going to be okay, and everything is working out.
Yes, and that is some light that people can hold on to in this year that we've been going through, and I'm sure difficult times are going to continue as we. I don't believe we're waiting to go back to normal. I think that things have shifted, and so I think it's our opportunity to create what we want our new normal to look like, as frustrating as it might be.
I totally agree with you. There is a new normal, and we're not going to go back. And sometimes when we feel that we're going back, it's actually because we evolve in a spiral mode. So if you think about it, with a spiral, you have a loop. And then when it feels that we're going backwards, it's actually we're catching momentum so that we can go higher again. And, a mentor of mine, like we're talking 25 years ago in Paris, started to explain that to me. And I really, truly believe this. It makes total sense that sometimes we feel we go backwards, but we're not. We're actually going forward. We're just catching momentum because we don't evolve in a straight line. And there is a new normal. You create it the way you want it. It's almost like we have a clean slate. So ask yourself, so what do I want right now? And then you're going to make it possible. We have tools for that.
Beautiful. I love that. And thank you for that analogy. That's so powerful. I'm definitely going to hold on to that too. That seeming regression, that lack of loss of momentum, is actually what catapults you forward into the next level.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. So, since we've gone down this path of how we're doing our work and business and showing up in the world, I'm curious, being the powerful clearer that you are of blocks, are there some trends that you see or some common blocks that people tend to carry in terms of abundance or bringing in the money they're looking for?
Yes, 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 they are definitely. So I find like we kind of have 5 hidden blocks that are they're showing up a little bit differently because we are all unique, but there are big trends. The first one is your energy. Everything is energy, right? So you are
Mm-hmm.
energy, your business is energy. The way you show up with potential clients, it's energy. And it's not so much about the words that you're going to say to close a deal, more than the way you emanate, you radiate, if you will, some energy. So the quality of your energy is given by your thoughts, by what you think about yourself, but by what you think that people think about you.
Right.
The whole assumptions that we have and the overthinking. You talked about highly sensitive. I do specialize into helping highly sensitive entrepreneurs because I'm a super highly sensitive person myself. And we tend to overthink. It's just like, wow, my head hurts sometimes because I'm processing so much stuff and I'm going so deep. I'm a very, very deep thinker. So that all contributes to feeding your energy. And sometimes, once again, if we could just take 3 deep breaths and ground ourselves into our source, and then just drop from your head into your heart and pause. That right there would just change your energy. Another thing with energy is that solutions are not created at the level where problems were created.
Good
Okay,
one.
that's Albert Einstein. I mean, I'm just like paraphrasing, but
Right.
basically, when you have a problem and you vibrate at this level of problem, you won't find the creative solution. You don't have access to that. That's very often when I come in because I tap into your source very easily and I can channel that and share that with you. So I can share your purpose, I can share your blog, I can share your next strategies, inspired strategies, anything, right? But you need to elevate yourself and your vibration and your energy in order to access those solutions.
So true. And I think people really tend to get stuck. It's
Absolutely.
hard to
And we
pick
all
the
do
magic.
that. Yeah, and
Yes.
we all do that. I'm right there with everybody else, right? I do have some of my students clear my energy so that sometimes I can get off the funk. And sometimes I can deal with it myself. It depends on the topic, right? So that's the first thing. The second one is the story we tell ourselves. We tell ourselves stories about lack, about competition, about stories about stories about stories. So if we could just stop a little bit and reframe that. And my approach to that is, if you have to make it up, because those stories are made up, right? We don't know that they're going to end up this way or that way. If you have to make it up good. That's all. Why creating the worst case scenario, right? Make it
Yeah.
up good. So that's the second thing that's blocking the flow of abundance, of money, of business with ease and everything. The third one, it's programming at the subconscious level, and not just at the subconscious level, but at the soul level also. When you go to the soul blueprints, we made decision on the soul level to experience some stuff. And here you come and you say, I changed my mind. Well, okay, you change your mind, but you need someone like me to help you rewrite those blueprints so that they are serving you in a better way and they are easier. So those are the blocks I find. Then the fourth one would be the archetype, the expression of you that is a little bit dissonant or discordant. So, for instance, your inner child acting up because you don't want to work today, and yet you have to show up and work, but you have a 2-year-old inside you that is stomping its feet and just messing around with you, right? Sabotaging your success. Or you're perfectionist. Highly sensitive people tend to be perfectionists and have to work on their perfectionism to just be able to go around with life and create stuff and put it out there to the world. It blocks your visibility because you judge yourself or you criticize yourself too much. So those are archetypes. The producer archetypes also, sometimes we force things to happen. We push, and then you're exhausted, right? And then we crash, we burn out, we just need a long time to recoup. So those are patterns that can be energetically diffused and cleared. And you can go to the root cause of why you established that and remove that root cause. Then you make peace with all this. And it doesn't have to trouble you anymore. So those are
Beautiful.
the blockages. The fifth one, I want to say, of course, is the fifth one is your ego. We if we keep hearing the ego saying you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't invest in yourself, you shouldn't, um, you're like, you've done it before and it doesn't work, or you have to do it by yourself. No, you don't have to. You don't have to, to raise your vibration and go to this penthouse party where you can find solutions, creative solutions. You can take the elevator. It's fine. You don't have to take the stairs. You don't. Or you don't have the money. Well, when you want to do something, the truth is money loves clarity and money loves direction. If you want to invest, for instance, in someone like me or in a coach or in anything, in a program, in a system to grow yourself, when you give money direction, it's going to be there and show up for you, especially when we have cleared the other blocks to manifesting money. So the ego is not wanting you to change, is wanting to keep the status quo. But quite frankly, life is about evolution. That's all there is. It's about expansion. And if you can make it joyous expansion rather than dragging your feet and suffering expansion, that's all there is. That's what it's about.
I love that. Lately I've been kind of mulling over this balance of embracing change and dreading, fearing, or avoiding change. And there's so many different ways you can classify two types of people. But I do think that people who embrace change and see potential and perhaps excitement in that adventure versus people who are absolutely afraid of it. They want what's familiar, even if it's stifling, if it doesn't serve them, if it's not moving them where they want to go. So I think that's really interesting. And to look at how the ego kind of speaks to that to
Yes.
hold us back or to
Yeah.
push us forward.
Yeah. And for these people that are in fear of change, which I totally understand. I mean, quite frankly, I don't like change. But if you think about it, 22 years ago, I said, I'm done with Paris. I want to embark in a totally new adventure, something I have never ever done before, creating a French restaurant and catering business from scratch in an industry where I've never been before, in a country where I've never lived or established a business before, right? So, but that said, I don't like change. So if you don't like change, can you just accept the fact that things change? I mean, obviously, you're not the same person that you were a year ago or even a month ago. So making peace with that, just accepting that some stuff are going to change. And then going into, well, what is one little baby step that I could take from there? Something where I'm not too resistant, something where I can go with the flow a little bit, just a touch. And just, by being a little quiet, being a little relaxed, thinking maybe about something that is pleasing to you so that you can calm down the agitation of the change and the fear and everything. Just going from fear to love, just relaxing. And then from there, just ask yourself, put a hand on your heart and ask yourself, what is just one tiny little thing I could do? Maybe I cannot do a big step and I'm in fear of big steps, but I can take a tiny little step. So I cannot do this, but I could do that. And then from the I could do that, you make a decision of, okay, I'm going to do that. Or maybe it gives you another idea of, oh, so I could do that, but I choose not to. But I could do that with a twist.
Right? And I
Just
love your smile as you say that.
movement,
Bring a
bringing
little,
movement.
yes,
Yes.
movement, clearing that energy, right? We put so much
Bringing,
energy into
yeah,
worry. If we release that energy and just
yes.
start moving again.
Absolutely. By the way, worry is one of the easiest, well, I shouldn't say that, but is easier to clear worry than what you think.
Ooh,
I
that's
see that in my sessions. Oh yes, I have worked, I've worked with so many people, like over 11,000 people in 20 years and in 22 countries, so very different cultures and everything. And worry is something that almost everybody is dragging. And it's easier to clear. I've really worked with worry warts that are really heavily in their head and anticipating the worst case scenario always and being in fear of that. And it's actually an energy shift. It is not that complicated.
well, that I think provides a lot of hope because I know a lot of people that put a little too much focus and energy into their worries, and they think they're better prepared, right, for potential issues and troubles to come along. Although my husband is a ruminator, I remind him he might be writing that into his story rather than simply being prepared.
Oh, absolutely. Because what you focus on expands. What you focus
Mhm.
on is you're vibrating this, and then you're vibrating worry and fear and stuff. The universe is going to feed you. Whatever you think, you're going to be right. So if you think that you need to worry because it's going to be worse, you are right, because you're creating it way harder already, and it's going to be worse. But if you think that, oh, it could get better, maybe it could get better. Maybe I'm going to change the story a little bit around this.
Mhm.
And then, and it takes, you need, it's a habit to worry. So you need to train yourself into the positive again. But once you start feeling better and enjoying, it could get better, everything is always working out for me. Well, maybe you can
Yes.
start with, well, maybe not everything, but it tends to work out for me. How about that? That's a belief I can reach. It tends to work out for me. And then you find evidence of that in your life. Yeah, this happened. See, it worked out. Oh, and that happened. Well, it worked out. Okay. And then before you know it, you are in a positive spiral again, and you're ascending.
Yes. Beautiful. I love that. Thank you. I think that's a really important thing for people to hear. If they've heard it before in different ways and it just didn't resonate, they feel like they're not being sensible by expecting that things could go better than anticipated. I think that's a beautiful way to explain that it's a powerful way to shift your energy again, to feel more positive, to allow more abundance to find you because you're not thinking of all the reasons why it cannot work, cannot get in.
Yeah, if you want to spend some time worrying, that's okay. But could you also spend some time envisioning that it could be better? Like to have kind of a balance. It's like a bank account. When you worry, you're taking money off of this bank account. So if you do that constantly, there's nothing there, there's nothing left. But if you start feeding your bank account with positive again, so how would it look like if it worked? What would it mean for me? And then you start daydreaming a little bit about that, just 5 minutes a day. That's going to already put your balance into the positive.
That's beautiful. And I think that's a terrific starting place. If you're not one of these people that visualization or simply picking up affirmations and utilizing them comes easily, if you just start with that, what would it look like if things went well? What would it look like if the ideal outcome happened? And let that be the beginning of your visualization practice.
Yeah. Because, a lot of people say, you fake it till you make it. It just makes me scream, because no, you don't. In a way you don't, because if I'm worrying and I start making up affirmations, if I don't believe them, then I have such an inner conflict inside me that I feel very disturbed and just crappy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work this way. So that's why I said, reach for what you can believe, maybe you cannot believe that everything is always working out for you, but maybe sometimes it does work out. I'm going to hang out to that. And what would it look like if it works out this time?
Yes, I love that. This has been terrific. I really love the exploration that we got to go down. I know we talked about a couple of different directions we could go, and we just ended up talking about exactly what we needed to today.
Absolutely.
I would love for you to share a bit about how people can work with you, or what is your success acceleration system that you share with your clients?
Yes. So my success acceleration system is a system that I created that has different parts. The first part is removing blocks, so going to the subconscious and the soul blueprint and looking at what's blocking you, what's the root cause of all this, what kind of decisions you made and everything, and then clearing all the discordant energies of that, and then looking at your archetypes and clearing all the different energies. And then once we've cleared the stuff, it's not so much about clearing anymore. We've evolved so much already that it's about activating the positive. So I have a system to activate the positive. So we go into that and activate the positive in your archetypes and in your soul blueprint, etc. And then it's a mix also of me going into guidance for you from your source directly, and then answering some questions. And it's not future telling. It's because I believe you can make me wrong tomorrow if you want to. You create the future you want. Yet I can tell you this direction or that direction would be better. I can tell you this is more aligned to you. I can tell you your life purpose is more around this and around that. I can tell you your business model is more aligned when you do this and that. We can find your next steps. Very often, I work with entrepreneurs that don't have clarity and they don't see what's the next best action that I should take, and then they keep running and doing a whole bunch of stuff. They make it way more too complicated. Simple things are the things that are really truly working. So it's all this. And then when you mix all this with coaching, then miracles happen, shifts in perspective happen, and then healing happens. And at all levels, mentally, physically, emotionally. I have people, we work on their business and then suddenly they have a 20-year-old pain in the neck that they couldn't get rid of. And
Yes.
they just move their neck and they're like, oh, it's gone. Because everything is energy. And when we clear self-punishment or guilt or whatever, then it was also acting up in your neck, and then now you're free.
And
So
what a
that's
fun job is that?
yeah, absolutely. I've got success stories like crazy. It's just like, it's fantastic. So that's what I do. So how to work with me, it would be, and I do group, and I do group work, mini group, because I like the intimacy of a small group, or I do private sessions with people. And the best way would be to look around on my website, and would be to just schedule a conversation with me, a complimentary conversation where I tap into your energy. I can tell you a little bit what's going on. You come, you tell me what are your biggest frustration. And then from there, I can recommend a plan. And then we see if it's a fit or if it's not a fit, just like that, very simply.
Yes, beautiful. And I think that's so powerful. I mean, the kind of comprehensive aspects of it, right? to
Yes.
to
Yeah.
get the energy moving, to get clarity and purpose, to make sure that what you're doing is aligned, because there's so much influence coming in. As you were saying, as we started our conversation, there are so many models and templates, and this is the way
Yes.
that an entrepreneur should start their business and market their business and serve their clients. And when it doesn't resonate with you, then yeah, there's going to be a lot of roadblocks, a lot of friction as you're trying to hold yourself in your chair while your inner 2-year-old is like, I'd like to go play outside.
Absolutely. I have a client that was like this, and he was blocked by his inner child. And he made like he was really struggling to just make ends meet. And then he made a 368% markup on in his skyrocketed his business because I sent him play. Like I just like, okay, you stop working. It's not working for you. You take a full week off and you go play with your inner child, and then you come back and then we're gonna work. And I just remember that it's just like boom, skyrocketed the income. The clients were searching him. He was not even, going out there to search clients. They would come to him naturally.
Beautiful. Just brought out that magnetic
Absolutely.
self so
Yes.
that they could find him.
Yep.
Yeah. Terrific. I love it. Thank you. And we're going to have your website information in the show notes so people can find you, learn about what you have coming up, if you have any events, or connect with you for that call and see
Yes,
if
and
they're
then
aligned.
take the test. I have a test to see how sensitive you may be, because that may drastically impact your life and your business. So you can score yourself there. And then when you take your test, a little bit later, I send you a few little gifts, and one of them is a technique to really shift into abundance. And like in 5 minutes, you shift from, if you are in fear and lack and everything and discordant energy, then you shift into feeling really good and feeling abundant. So take the test and you're going to get a whole bunch of gifts after that.
Beautiful. That sounds like a terrific tool to have and to utilize as we're moving into this new year.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your kindness and generosity. This has been a terrific conversation.
Thank you so much, Susie. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in today. Check out the show notes for any links we mentioned. To learn more about living life with less stress and more flow, visit happifiedlife.com. And if you found value in today's episode, make sure you subscribe to catch the next one and leave a review to help fellow pod surfers find Happified. Until next time, keep on shining.